Hey guys, I'm Stephanie and this is Steph's Day, and today we're going to be making something extra good and yummy, and it is cookies. Who doesn't love cookies? But these cookies are extra special because these are cookies for breakfast. These are specifically breakfast cookies, so they're good for us. So with all that being said, let's get started and let's make these wonderful banana breakfast cookies. Alrighty, to get our breakfast cookies started, I'm going to preheat my oven to 350 degrees and get this started while we get the rest of our ingredients going. Now, for our breakfast cookies, it is going to take 3 bananas, and these bananas, as you can see, they're starting to get really ripe. And if you kind of consider bananas like you'd be getting ready to use for banana bread, for most of us, especially I know myself, once they start getting this many spots, you start getting even more sugar and more flavor from them. And these are the ones where I say that they are to the bread state. So this is what we want. Even if they're a little bit further, even better. So I'm going to go ahead and take each of them out. And I do have my trusty little garbage sack here to the side. That's what I keep throwing things off the side so you can see. I'm not just chunking them on my counter. But I always do keep, you can see a little Walmart sack here, Publix, wherever you may go. Great for a little trash sack when you need to be throwing things away. And get these little extra things out as well. Don't leave them in. All right. Got one over there just hanging on. All right, there's one banana. I'm going to do this quickly with the others. Get all these strings off. Ooh, and you can tell that they are very ripe because I can smell the banana smell is very strong, which is what you want anytime you're doing or baking or cooking with your banana. I'm going to take that little end off. Make sure I got all of those little strings. A little extra. Last one. Remember, we needed 3, so we've got 2 so far. This one will be number 3. Go through it. And if you, for this particular recipe, I happen to have fresh bananas. A lot of times, if you've got your bananas are going bad and maybe you don't have the other ingredients, kind of looking this one over real quick while I'm talking. For a recipe, it's always easy. You can just take the whole banana in the skin and just pop them in the freezer. So you can always do that as well. So I'm just going to blend these down. Rinse my hands off real quick. Did have to wipe my hands to get all that banana off of them. And then you are going to mash these. So just mash these with a fork. If you want to do them with a potato masher, that's fine. Generally, I just do these with a fork because I want kind of a rough mash. Don't really need them just completely pulverized, but just a little rough mash here. Ooh, and I can smell the banana. Just make sure that they are mashed. Don't have any big pieces left. All right. Got our pretty bananas going together there nicely. Okay, so for the next ingredient that we are going to add in some quick oats here, and you do want the quick oats for this. And so I'm going to add in 2 cups of quick oats. And this one is the Quaker, but if you have the store brand, they're just fine too. Kind of depends on, I'm probably like most of you, it depends on what's on sale that week. And I've been hitting the oatmeal pretty hard. So you can see I'm almost out, so I had just enough for this. All right, there's 2 cups of our quick oats. Move this to the side, close it up. Now, and then we are also going to add some nuts to this. Now, for this particular recipe, I'm going to add walnuts. And if you have pecans or any other kind of nuts that you want to add in place of them, you may definitely do that, but I'm going to do walnuts, and this particular package is a cup, so I'm going to do half of a cup. I'm not going to do the whole package, just half. Seal it back up. Leave it to the side. Save the rest of those walnuts for something else. Then, if you are a chocolate chip lover, I'm gonna add some chocolate chips. And so I should have about, that was perfect, half a cup of chocolate chips. Now, if you don't like bananas and chocolate chips, or you don't like chocolate chips in yours, you can skip this part. But we like the chocolate chip flavor in it, so I choose to incorporate it. But again, that's something that you can skip if it's not something that you like. Now, we do need some extra sweetness here, so I'm going to use some applesauce, and this is just a little snack pack container. Got a little condensation because it was in the refrigerator. And we are going to use 1/3 of a cup, which should be most of this, but I am going to kind of measure it out because I think I'll have a little bit more in this container than what I need. I think this container is more like half of a cup. And if you've got little kiddos at home, or if you like to eat these are great. So it's going to be almost one of those little individual containers, or 1/3 of a cup of applesauce. So you can see we've got some great elements in here that are just good for you. Yummy. This will be super good. All right, set that to the side. Now we do need a liquid measure in here, so we are going to need some milk. If you're not a milk fan and you like almond milk or soy milk or anything, you can't interchange this. But this is 1/4 of a cup of milk. We just need just a little bit of moisture in there. 1/4 of a cup is all that we need. Move this fork to the side because I'm going to need it again in just a minute. All right, kind of move that around. Then we are going to need some raisins too, because we think oatmeal, raisins, we also want oatmeal raisin cookies. We're going to do banana. It's got a lot of goodness in here. Nuts, raisins, chocolate chips, bananas, super good. 1/4 of a cup. Raisins, now these are just regular California sun-dried raisins. If you like the golden raisins, you want it more of a uniform color, you're welcome to use the golden ones. You could even use cranberries in there if you like. If you only had the cranberries, that'd be perfectly fine as well. Spoons out. Then we are going to need 1 egg. So I'm going to crack the egg. I'm going to beat it slightly before. That's my fork that I need. Beat this. Then place it in. Drop it in. So you see how quick and easy this is? Because everything is just kind of popping in. Just mixing it, throwing it in. Now for our flavorings we are going to need a teaspoon of cinnamon. So I'm going to do my cinnamon first. If you have a dry measure and a wet measure, always do your dry first. A teaspoon of cinnamon. And a teaspoon of vanilla. I'll have to get that out. I'm gonna throw that away. That thing falls out just about every time I use it. Teaspoon of vanilla. And because we have so much sweetness going on, I am gonna put a dash of salt in here. If you wanted to measure this out, and actually I will for the sake of the camera, it would be about 1/8 of a teaspoon. If you don't have 1/8 of a teaspoon measure, a lot of us don't on our measures, just remember that will be 1/2 of a 1/4. So I'll just guesstimate. That's about 1/2 of a 1/4 or 1/8. Just a good little shake there. All right. Now we're going to mix to combine all of these ingredients, and see, perfect timing. As soon as we've got everything combined, our oven is up to temperature. So we're going to mix. Ooh, the smell in this! Oh my goodness, so good. You know, just think when you're always like, what do I want for breakfast? I want cookies. Well, a lot of times we know. We even tell our kids, you know, cookies aren't good for you for breakfast. And a lot of time I would joke with my daughter, I'm like, well, it's okay, it's got eggs in it, or and she let Mom, you know, just kind of being funny. But these do have eggs in them, and these are cookies that you can have for breakfast or for a nice little protein snack. Just a little healthy snack here. There's no flour in them whatsoever. So if you need something that was without flour or anything, you had some allergies to it and you could still eat oatmeal, be perfectly fine. All right, so just mix to incorporate. And again, it's not going to be a real dry mixture like a lot of other cookie recipes because there's no flour in it, but it is going to come together nicely. Now, I do have here a baking sheet that I have lined with silicone. And if you watched me before, you know I'm a big fan of the silicone liners. When you're baking, whether you're putting a pie on here, keeping it from slipping, when you're making cookies, whatever it is, it just comes out great. So I'm going to use this larger teaspoon, closer to a tablespoon size, like a soup spoon, if you have a dinner spoon. I'm going to use this to scoop. If you wanted to scoop them with an ice cream scoop, or if you had bigger cookie scoops, you could. But there's going to be one little extra thing that we're going to need to do to these, and I'll explain while I'm scooping. So I'm going to kind of get a good size, scoop them right along here. Another good thing about these silicone trays, you've got kind of divided sections, so it's really easy to kind of be sure everything goes in its correct spot. And if you didn't know how big your cookies were, it's got little circular lines for it. Love these baking sheets. Again, I don't have links for anything. I'm not sponsored by them, not endorsed by them or anything. I'll just tell you, I just got these at Home Goods. So if you have a Home Goods by you can get you a set of them. I think you could get, every once in a while you get a pack of one, sometimes you get a pack of two. But whenever I go to a Home Goods, I try to get some extra. Sometimes you can get them at Target, because not Target, TJ Maxx. I think they're all affiliated. Not 100% sure, but I think they are. Great, and almost got all 12 of them. Now I'll go back and add some to a few of these, kind of make them more uniform in shape. Now, I'm not worried about them being too large, and I'll explain that in just a second, because you'll see why. I am trying to get, as far as mine, on the circular size, about the same. That one needs to be even out just a little bit. All right, and like I was saying, I wanted to explain something before we put these in the oven. These will not spread like regular cookies. They don't have flour, they don't have butter in them, so they won't spread. So pretty much the way that I mounted them is going to be the way they stay. But I'm going to take this fork, and you can do this, you could do it with the back of a spatula, and I'm going to press them down to kind of get my rounded end shape the way that I want them, because again, they're not going to spread out very much, if any at all. So I'm just going to press them down, shape them appropriately, because again, we don't want them to stay really large like that. We want them to be flatter and rounder, more like if you think of a regular cookie that would spread. Continue doing that for each of these. These will have a nice texture. These won't be dry like other cookies. When you finish them, you will see they will have more of a cake-like texture and consistency. Kind of fun just patting them down. Just I have to be careful. You could go round and round making sure each one of these are perfect all the time. Now, if you wanted to get really perfect on it, you could take a glass and kind of spin it around on them to be sure that they were perfectly round. I'm not going to go that far. but you could. All right, so we got our oven preheated to 350 degrees, so you can see how I kind of smashed them down. And I'm gonna put these in the oven. Again, they're gonna bake at 350 degrees for, I'd say probably about 15 to 18, 19 minutes. And I'm gonna start checking them about 15-minute mark to be sure that they're golden brown around the outside. So let's get these in the oven. All right, it's been 15 minutes. I'm gonna pull them out and let's give them a look. Here they are. Oh, they smell so yummy. All right, look at that. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Gotta put them down. They are warm. So I'm on a wire rack. All right, I'm going to pull you a little closer so you can see. Now, they are a little firm on the outside, and if you press against them, they're gonna have just a little resistance at this point. So these are done. So you can see they're firm. These need to sit and cool completely, and then we're going to take them off the mat and give them a taste. All right, guys, our cookies have been cooling for about 15 minutes, and they're pretty cool at this point. Now, the recipe does make between 20 and 24 cookies, so I had 8 additional cookies that I had in the oven while we were waiting for these to cool. So these just came out as well. So for my batch, it made 20 because I had mine a little generous, which that's why we like them a little big. So if you make them a little smaller, you'll get closer to 24, but just know 20 to 24 is about the yield that you'll get for this particular recipe. So these, like I said before, these are not gonna spread out. So if you look, they are exactly as that we mashed them down with a fork. So another good thing about this silicone mat, these come up super easy. So I'm gonna scoop this one in the middle. See, it's almost just no effort at all. So they're slightly warm at this point. So we'll move this to the side. And you can see just how pretty they are. Look at that, cookies for breakfast. So I'm gonna give this a taste because I know it's super good because my house is smelling amazing. It's like banana bread and a cookie all rolled down into one, but soft, moist. Ooh, I just got that chocolate. That was good. And it just kind of reminds you of just a really soft cookie. It's really good. It's very good for you. These are moist. So as you take these, if you don't eat them all in one setting, they need to go into the refrigerator in a plastic container that is sealed. Do not, I repeat, do not leave these out on the countertop. One, you'll eat them all. But number two, there's too much moisture in them because there's no flour to dry them out. So you will want to leave them in the refrigerator. And I could just keep talking and eating because these are so good. It's like eating a treat for breakfast. This is yummy. Super, super good. They have a texture more like a cake, not like a crunchy cookie, so just know that. But these are so good. Such a wonderful breakfast and a great treat to make as well. And they're good for you. So, can't go wrong with that. So remember, I'm Stephanie. This is Steph Stove. Give us a thumbs up. Click that subscribe button for more great content like this. Remember, Steph Stove, we're making memories one dish at a time. I'm gonna finish these because these are delicious. Yum. Thanks for watching.